in the culture of our sport, 1,000 games is a huge, huge number. There's just not a lot of people that get to it when you think of the sheer number of people that have played. Then I think it's even more challenging to do as a defenseman. And then if you're a defensive defenseman, if you're a penalty killer, shot blocker, hitter, that's a hard number to get to. And it's also an understanding that a big chunk of those games you've played hurt. So we had Dmitry the first time he was coming off a back injury out of Buffalo. And he was in pain every day. And then he got it fixed and he rehabbed out. And I wouldn't say reinvented himself. I think he's just grown into the style of game that he's very good at. But Dmitry is playing his best hockey of his career. I'm not saying toward the end of it, but it's unusual that a defenseman of that style is playing his best hockey at the 1,000 game mark. Usually their bodies are broken down so bad they're just surviving on veteran intelligence and grit. But his game last year and this year, in my opinion, is the best hockey he's ever played. So credit to him, because it's hard. I mean, you wake up sore just about every game for hopefully 10 straight months. Then you get the ice bags on you all summer and rehab and get fit and go back after it and do it again. The mental toughness it takes to do what Dmitry's done is rare.
What stands out to you about his personality?
He's been a very consistent guy, in a pretty good mood, real good family guy, likes to talk about his kids, comes to the rink, whether things are good or bad. And I don't mean casual. He's pretty upbeat about life. But there's also an edge to him. You don't have to wind Dmitry up to play hard. He can smile at you, have a good morning skate, ask about your family, then the puck drops, it's on. He has no problem flipping that switch. But an upbeat personality in a very consistent way.
You had a full complement of players up there. What are you expecting tonight? First game after a roadie. LA's been on the road the last two.
Yeah, it's a really good question, George, because I think this year's experience has been different than the past, certainly because of the way last year, the amount of hockey that we have on us, our schedule is really unusual this year. So normally I got a feeling about 85% sure about what we're going to see on every given night, and that's kind of the strength of experience. You know what you're getting into to prep your team. But we just haven't been home very much. And we had a full practice, I think, December 8th, and then had the next one around the 27th, and then go back 8 road games a month in 2 months. So we could be phenomenal tonight, or it may take us a few minutes to get into this one. I'm kind of prepped for both of those, how we would react to that. But it's a bit of a learning curve. We're learning here on the go, even though we've done this for a while. This has been an unusual year, and we go back into back-to-back again. That may be the thing that we become used to and normal to. Right now, it's a little different.
Yeah, I know I could be getting back.
Yeah.
Players and through. Are you expecting him to play? Do you do anything to plan for Drew Doughty?
We will expect him to play, but that won't change necessarily. That's not going to change their team game or what they try to do. It'll just change how focused you are on the matchup. But no, we won't do anything special with that.
Obviously, a big piece though.
They've done an incredible job surviving. They've got some. Kempe's developed into an elite player, but it was Doughty and Kopitar are the two big names. One of them is not there. I believe this will be 28 or 29 road games for them. They had an unbelievable start to the year. I think they were on the road from that exhibition game that we played. They spent like 3.5 weeks on the road. So credit to that staff. They've done an incredible job. I think of defining a game. They're very, very consistent with their game. They give up very few shots. They block an awful lot of shots. They battle. They do get some action off the rush with their speed, and then their heavy net front. They've got some size that gets to your net. So he's done a really good job defining the game for that team.
We see him out at practice all the time, so I have to assume he is, but Yona Gadkovich clear.
Yeah, no, he's not yet.
Oh, he's still not clear.
He's not, but he's into full contact now. So we haven't got the final sign off, but he's getting there. So he's not wearing a gold, and they're going to bang him around this morning pretty good. See how he feels.
Any thoughts, or is it just no rush, or to getting him back in?
Always like having Gadge in our lineup. there isn't an obvious out in that forward group right now.
And going to the lines, the ones you used with the Vegas going back with today, what do you like?
No, a little different though.
A little different.
A little
but
different,
just
yeah.
Kind of switching it up, keeping getting some of those duos back together, like Lucy back with Lundy.
I think what I'm doing right now is trying to learn as much as I possibly can while you can. So in our last 10 games, we've given up 1.4 goals against 5-on-5. That's a half goal better than average. So it's really good, the defensive part. And we're scoring actually at a slightly higher rate than average at 2.1. So when we're in this kind of play a lot of back-to-backs, there's a lot of travel. It's hard to get an awful lot of traction in terms of wins, stringing a bunch together. You're looking for potential pieces of chemistry that might happen. So I'd like to see Samuel play his offside. He came in and we started him on his left side. It wasn't great, but it was his first year, right? He went to the American League and played all that. So we'd like to see him there because we think there's something there with Sam Miskevich and Bennett that looks really good. I want a little coverage on the Kopitar line. If it's not Barkov, then I'm looking for Lundell, and that usually means Luostarinen there. So that's just kind of the idea with it. Evan Rodriguez kind of most would have seen it as a demotion to the fourth line. And he handled it like a pro, and then his game got right. So I want to get him off that line. I want to get him back into the top nine in terms of minutes. So I'm playing with my food here a little bit, trying to figure out just what other places can we go. We know what we ended with last year. We know what the structure of that looks like. What other places can we go? Can we develop some chemistry with places we didn't know we had? Sergey.